Alright folks, buckle it up because we're going to solder this together right now. This is the chandelier earrings we've been working on. What I'm doing right now is attaching one of the wires that broke off while I was adjusting the curves and things like that. Excuse me. I wanted to show you guys this because it's really hard to explain the nerve-wrackingness of jewelry sometimes, but you can see, here's my finger, so you can see how small this is. These are tiny little wires that we're soldering on here. They melt very easily, and this torch that I'm using right now, very, very hot. So I'm going to move it into place. I'm actually going to solder it in a couple different places today in order to kind of hold it better so it doesn't break again. What I'm doing with this brush right here is adding something called flux. Flux is an acid. I think it's an acid. It's a chemical anyways. That is going to protect the metal from oxidizing, and what that means is it'll keep it real clean, so that when I put this tiny little piece of solder right here, get it into place, the solder can melt and stick to the other metal. So if the piece is clean and you don't use enough flux, the solder won't stick to all the pieces that you want it to, and it won't stick together. It's not welding it because the solder melts before the silver does. It's silver, it's a silver solder, but it's a little bit alloyed slightly different than the main metal, so that it melts before the actual metal does. So there it goes. You can, I don't know if you can see it. This is the first time I've done this action shot video. It's by request. But got a little more flux there. We'll see how it looks once it gets up on the blog. I'll be sure to put up close-up photos of the solder and stuff, so you can see that I just put a little flux in that joint. I'm going to solder right here where this pick is. I've got a tiny little piece of solder that's on the edge of my soldering pick. I'm just going to heat it up, and it's going to start to melt, and it's going to start to suck into place. Solder goes wherever the heat is. It kind of flows to the hottest point. So there we go. So I've soldered 1, 2, 3 different times, and now the curves are together, and I can go in and bend them and shape them to the desired forms that I want. So check in later. That's the first solder in. Solder time.